The most reliable car brand in America just issued the largest engine recall in its history. And it's not the only car on this list that won't last 50,000 miles. One has a flaw the manufacturer hid for 7 years. Another scored 22 out of 100 from Consumer Reports. A third has fire-related recalls covering over 320,000 vehicles. I'm counting down 8 cars that won't survive 50,000 miles. The data, the owner stories, and the model years to avoid. Number 1 is a name every buyer trusts. Plus 2 bonus picks built to last 250,000 miles. Let's go. At number 8, the GM 5.3 and 6.2-liter V8, Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, Yukon, Escalade. The backbone of America's entire truck market, and right now it's tearing itself apart. GM built a fuel economy trick called active fuel management. Sounds good on paper. It shuts down 4 cylinders on the highway to save gas. Problem is, the parts that handle it wear out way too fast. When they go, they take the whole engine with them. Not at high mileage either. Owners reporting total failure at 6,000 miles, some at 7,300, others at 11,000. Bill lands between $7,000 and $15,000. Enough for a used Civic. Just to rebuild what should have lasted a decade. NHTSA launched a probe into 877,000 trucks. Separately, a jury awarded $100 million to 38,000 owners. One woman towing her daughters had the motor blow hundreds of miles from the nearest dealer. She waited 3 months for parts in a town with 1 traffic light. Here's what GM won't say out loud. They pulled the entire system from 2026 engines. No recall, no press conference, just quietly deleted it. You don't erase a feature from your flagship trucks unless you know it's the cause. 2014 through 2021 with AFM carry the highest risk. Silverado alone moves 500,000 units a year. Not a small problem. An aftermarket delete kit runs about $100. Cheap bet against a $15,000 engine job. 2 GM entries back to back. This next one barely survives the drive home, and it only gets worse from here. Number 7, the 2018 to 2022 Chevrolet Traverse. GM's 3-row family hauler with a 9-speed automatic. Documented pattern of catastrophic failure out of the box. Total transmission death under 100 miles. I'm not exaggerating. Bought it Tuesday, towed it back Wednesday. One owner's unit lasted 87 miles. Others made it to 17,000, maybe 30,000, then the gearbox quit entirely. A Repair Pal slots at 22nd out of 26 midsize SUVs. Bottom of the class at a mid-tier price. And the shift to park defect. You turn the key off and the dashboard insists you're still in drive. Won't lock, drains the battery. Multiple owners came back to find the truck had rolled into the street. Nobody behind the wheel. Class action settlement landed in 2025. That kind of legal action doesn't come from isolated cases. New 9-speed runs $4,000 to $7,000. On a $35,000 family vehicle, you're burning a fifth of the sticker just to fix what the factory broke. That's not maintenance, that's a tax on brand loyalty. 2023 models swapped in a redesigned gearbox. If you're shopping used, a Kia Telluride pairs a standard 8-speed with a naturally aspirated V6. No gimmicks, no deactivation tricks. Owners pushing $200,000 with 0 drivetrain issues at the same price. That was GM. This next one is Ford, and the brands only get bigger from here. Number 6, the Ford Explorer. If your family had one growing up, this entry hurts. Ford rebuilt it in 2020 on a new rear-drive platform with a 10-speed automatic. Harsh shifts, random drops into neutral at highway speed. One owner needed a full swap at 2,800 miles. Another lost power from the 2.7 EcoBoost on the interstate at speed. 2 kids in the back seat. Think about that. The 2020 model year alone racked up 14 recalls and close to 3,000 NHTSA complaints. Ford buried the water pump inside the block. Seal cracks. Coolant pours into the oil and mechanics call it the milkshake of death. Engine seizes, done for good. The transmission? Ford published a bulletin in 2024 confirming that issue too. Class action pending. It's not just the Explorer either, because that same 10-speed is bolted into the F-150. NHTSA has an open investigation on 1.3 million of those trucks. Ford tops every automaker in complaint volume with 110,000 filings between 2015 and 2024. One bad year is a mistake. Now, a decade of it is a culture. 5 years in, a $38,000 Explorer trades for around $18,000. That $20,000 gap buys a new Corolla with change left over. 2020 is the year to avoid entirely. 2021 and 2022 improved, but ride on the same gearbox. If 3-row is the requirement, a Highlander gives you the same seats without the same risk. Halfway mark. From here, every brand gets more trusted, and every failure gets harder to believe. Number 5. The Jeep Grand Cherokee. Consumer Reports scored it 22 out of 100. 22. J.D. Power places Jeep third from the bottom across all 30 brands, and it's not even close. Factory fresh 2024 units arriving with dead transmissions at 386 miles. Another at 867. One didn't make it to 3,000. These aren't worn-out trade-ins. Brand new trucks. Paper plates in the window. The 8-speed hesitates, lurches, and sometimes refuses to engage entirely. One owner watched their Grand Cherokee leave the lot on a flatbed. Oil life indicator hadn't dropped a single percent. Air suspension on Summit or Overland, budget for its funeral. Fails between 40,000 and 60,000 miles. Each corner runs $1,500 to $2,500. All four, and you've spent $10,000. 2 years of car payments just to keep it level. The 4xe plug-in hybrid. Over 320,000 pulled back over batteries catching fire. This is the third recall attempt, and earlier patches didn't hold. Jeep told owners to stop plugging in. Park away from buildings. I'm serious. 62 grand for a hybrid you're told not to charge. At that point, it's not a vehicle. It's an expensive driveway ornament. Every model year since the 2022 redesign has transmission problems, and the higher trims pile on from there. The parent company can't fix what it can't afford. Stellantis bled 21 billion euros last year. 54 recalls across their brands in a single calendar year. Good luck getting replacement parts 5 years from now. If this list is keeping money in your pocket, hit subscribe. Top 3 next. Every name from here is one most buyers trust completely. Number 1 broke at 500 miles. At number 4, 3 Nissans in one slot. Altima, Pathfinder, Sentra. 2018 through 2021, same fatal component, the Jotco CVT. Shops that work on these call it the weakest transmission ever mass-produced. There's a steel belt inside that wears out over time, fills the fluid with metal shavings. Eventually the whole thing locks up. The Sentra averages total CVT death around 49,000 miles, just inside the warranty window. One Pathfinder owner was cruising at 65. CVT shuddered, tachometer shot up, and the car lost all forward power. Swerved across a lane to dodge traffic behind him. No check engine light, no fail-safe mode. Just sudden silence. Dead drivetrain at highway speed. New CVT costs $3,500 to $5,000. Can't be rebuilt either. Once it fails, whole new unit. Nissan settled CVT lawsuits for $277 million on the Pathfinder alone. Millions of these are still on the road. Nissan swapped in a traditional 9-speed for the 2022 Pathfinder. Draw your own conclusion on why. And the company behind it is falling apart. A Nissan executive went public. They have 12 to 14 months of runway left, $5 billion in losses. Every major credit agency grades their debt as junk. No other global automaker holds that status. A Corolla or Civic for similar money will still run long after the Sentra is on its third drivetrain. This next one won every award in sight. Then the wheels fell off. Number 3, the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Car and Driver handed it EV of the year. Then Consumer Reports stripped the recommendation. The culprit is a part called the ICCU, Integrated Charging Control Unit. Coolant leaks into the electronics and fries it, and when it fails, the car goes completely dark. No dashboard alert, no error message, total blackout. One owner's ICCU died at 5,000 miles, another at 10,000. A brand new Ioniq 5N failed before the buyer ever drove it. One owner lost power merging at 60, another sat 3.5 months waiting on parts. Still making payments on a car collecting dust. 8 active recalls on the 2025 alone. Second car on this list recalled over fire risk. Jeep was the first. Hyundai shipped software patches. Forums report identical failures after the update. The Kia EV6, EV9, and Genesis G560 ride the same architecture with the same part. Every year from 2022 through 2025 is vulnerable. This one hurts because Hyundai earned their comeback, a decade of rebuilding after the Theta 2 engine disaster. Tucson and Santa Fe? Legitimately solid now. The Ioniq 5 was supposed to prove they could lead the EV space. Instead, it's the one model undoing years of rebuilt credibility. If Hyundai's the brand you want, stick with their gas and hybrid lineup. The EV side isn't there yet. Next is a 30-year safe bet, and the flaw has been there since 2018. Number 2, the Honda CR-V, America's top-selling SUV for 3 decades. Hyundai's decade of rebuilding got erased by one bad part. Honda's been hiding this one for 7 years. Gas leaks past the piston rings, gets into the oil. Pull the dipstick and the levels climbing instead of falling. Gasoline dissolving into your lubricant. It's thinning the oil until the engine starts eating itself from the inside. Honda knew. They confirmed it in October 2018 through internal dealer communications. A class action landed in 2022 covering over 1 million CR-Vs. One owner's 2021 went into limp mode on the way to work and started pouring smoke. Another's head gasket blew at 59,000. Misfires, stalling in traffic, check engine lights, all on engines with fewer than 50,000 miles. Honda shipped a software patch. The suit argues the root flaw was never touched. Didn't stop with that generation either. A 2025 CR-V hybrid owner flagged dilution at just 4,000 miles. Carried straight into the next platform. This one hits different because of the name on the badge. Honda is the reason it goes undetected, because people buy CR-Vs assuming nothing goes wrong. Nobody pulls the dipstick between services. By the time you see smoke or the engine stalls, the damage is already done. If you still want a CR-V, the 2015 and 2016 with the 2.4-liter are clean. 2020 Ford brought redesigned piston rings and real improvement. The 2017 through 2019 window, walk. A RAV. 4 hybrid or Mazda CX-5 won't have you questioning what's under the hood. One left. I kept looking for a reason to pull this one. Couldn't find one. And number 1, the Toyota Tundra. The brand more Americans trust than any other automaker. This truck is failing at mileage levels that shouldn't be possible for Toyota. Now the 2022 through 2024 Tundra runs a new twin-turbo V6. During assembly, metal shavings from the factory got trapped inside the engine. Nobody caught it. They cycle through the oil, chew up the internals from the inside. Toyota pulled back over 230,000 engines. Estimated cost, $300 to $500 million. Largest engine recall in their history. Failures clustering under 20,000 miles on a truck built to run 10 times that. One owner went through 2 complete engine failures. First at 19,500 miles. Toyota replaced it. The new motor failed at 500 miles. 500, a fresh crate engine. Didn't survive its first month, not a bad unit. The entire production line failed. Toyota is covering every warranty claim so far, but no recall gives back the months without a truck or the lost workdays. Good luck selling it once that recall shows up on Carfax. Toyota retired the 5.7-liter V8 for this power plant. That hurts, because that V8 earned a reputation most engines never will. Owners still logging 300,000 plus on nothing but oil services. If you want a Toyota truck, the 2007 through 2021 generation is where the money goes. A Ram 1500 with the Hemi deserves a look too. The twin-turbo needs years of field data before it earns confidence. That's number 1, America's most trusted automaker. GM, Ford, Jeep, Nissan, Hyundai, Honda, Toyota. Every single one had the reputation, and none of it stopped the engineering from failing. A brand name doesn't protect you. The numbers do, but 2 cars earned every bit of their reputation. 2 picks that actually deliver. The Toyota Corolla. Repair Pal puts it at number 1 among 36 compact cars. $362 a year in upkeep, $30 a month. 7% of owners ever deal with a serious repair. One guy hit 481,000 miles. A 2019 hybrid on nothing but routine services. Under $23,000 new with 50 miles per gallon, Toyota backs the hybrid battery for a full decade. Not exciting? Not supposed to be. Nobody brags about owning one, and that's the whole reason it belongs here. The Lexus ES, Toyota mechanicals in a premium cabin. J.D. Power gave Lexus the top dependability score 4 years running. Maintenance runs $551 a year. A BMW 5 Series costs $968. The reliability runs across the whole brand. One LS400 crossed the million-mile mark on factory internals. Not a logo, a powertrain you never think about. That's 8 cars that won't survive, and 2 that are built to outlast everything around them. The complete playlist covering every car breakdown I've ever published is linked right here.